Welcome back to another best team video. Except today, I'm not doing the team building, you guys are. That's right, after 5 years of crafting teams for this channel, I decided it's finally time to start looking at your teams. Not that I wasn't before, but today, I'm going to dedicate a video to an entire team that one of you guys put on our latest community poll. Now, a lot of these teams were super interesting. I really appreciated some of the diversity you guys had. There was one team in particular though that really caught my interest, and of course, you can bet it was the Johto one, and a Generation 2 one to be exact. The team I'm referring to is one created by Soulblade Productions, and today, young viewer, your team will be rated by yours truly. When it comes to today's video, it will be done in the typical best team format, but in the future, if you guys really like this video, I will talk about more of your guys' teams and generalize them a bit more, so that way I can give you all more of my opinions on them. Honestly, I should get the award for the best Miltank farmer in the entire Pokemon community. Anywho, I will be evaluating how these team members perform against the gym leaders, Elite Four members, champion, rival, and of course the evil team leaders. With that short synopsis out of the way, let's hop into our starter. Starting off this team, Soulblade decided to choose Cyndaquil as their starter. And honestly, you can pick any of the Johto starters and expect a decent run. Unless you pick Chikorita. I'm sorry, Chicky. Cyndaquil, as you guys know, in my opinion, is the best starter for a Johto run, and performs the best when it comes to matchups. Typhlosion has decent coverage for what it's worth, and a handful of fantastic stab options. Soul unfortunately didn't create a moveset, so we can just use mine from the best team for Johto Remastered. The moveset Typhlosion will be using is any fire stab attack to your liking, Thunder Punch, Earthquake, and Sunny Day. Flame will be the first decent option on the Typhlosion line, and that can be learned by Quilava at level 31. Once Quilava evolves into Typhlosion though, Flame Will can be switched for Fire Punch, which can be obtained from the Goldenrod department store. Flamethrower can't be learned until level 60, so I would honestly keep Fire Punch until then. Or just keep Fire Punch in general. It's your call. Next is Thunder Punch. That provides great coverage against water types, and that TM can also be obtained from the Goldenrod department store. Earthquake can be found in Victory Road, and that can come in handy for rock types. Lastly, Sunny Day can be used to power up your Fire Stab. The TM for that can be obtained from a lady in the radio tower after saving it. Just go up a few stairs. Typhlosion with these moves can tread Bugsy, Jasmine, Price, Will's entire team, Koga's team aside from Muck, Bruno's Onix, Karen's Vileplume, Erica's team, Janine's bug types, Blue's Pidgeot, Gyarados, and Executor, Silver's team aside from Alakazam and Gengar, the Rocket Executive's Vileplume, and Red's Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. Yeah, Typhlosion shreds. I didn't need to give you guys what it does well against, but I just wanted to showcase it again as a reminder. Good choice so far, Soul. Up next is a member that I am a little iffy on, considering its move pool is so shallow in Generation 2. However, it just so happens to be in my top 5 favorite Pokemon of all time, being Butterfree. Caterpie can be found at the beginning of Johto. However, in Silver, it can be obtained at the National Park from the bug catching contest. Butterfree is cute, its cry is great, but the only huge downside, like I mentioned before, is its shallow move pool in Generation 2. The moves it has access to aren't even all that powerful, and the most powerful move it can get is Psychic, and that can't be obtained until Saffron City from Mr. Psychic. But because I am a Butterfree fan, I will try my best to give this bug the best moveset I can. For moves on Butterfree, I'm going to go with Psybeam/Psychic, Giga Drain, Hidden Power, and Toxic. That was the best I could do. I'm sorry. I told you guys Butterfree's move pool was really shallow. Some of you may be asking, where's Gust? If you want a crappy physical flying move with 40 base power, be my guest. Psybeam can be learned at level 34, and I would use that all the way until you get Psychic for Mr. Pokemon in Saffron City. Despite it not being Stab, Psychic is going to be your hardest hitting move. Oh, and use Confusion before Psybeam. Butters has no stab at all, so we're going based off coverage. Giga Drain can be obtained from Erica after defeating her, and that sucks because she's in Kanto. As far as a move to use before Giga Drain, I don't know, Stun Spore? Hidden Power is fun because at least there's a chance we can get some Flying or Bug Stab, but who knows what typing it will get. Hidden Power will be random, so good luck with whatever typing you get. The TM for that can be obtained at the Lake of Rage. Lastly, we have Toxic, and it's honestly there because Butterfree has no other decent offensive moves. Toxic can be helpful with stalling though, and will be useful in a pinch if it ever came down to it. Now let's see how Butterfree performs with the limited moveset it has. Bugsy if you use Gust, Morty with Confusion, Chuck's team again with Confusion, Koga's Poison types, Bruno's Fighting types, Karen's Gengar and Vileplume, Brock's team if you have Giga Drain, Misty's team with Giga Drain, Erica's Victory Bell, Janine's team, Blue's Rhydon, Silver's Gengar and Feraligatr, the Rocket Executive's Poison types, and lastly Red's Venusaur and Blastoise. So as you can see, the main premise for Butterfree here is to be used as a Psychic type Pokemon. There are definitely better Psychic Mons out there, but Butterfree can be semi-viable against a lot of these Poison Mons with its base 90 special attack. It just sucks with the stab situation because Bug and Flying are both physical in this gen. That's really the whole issue with Butterfree. The next Pokemon Soul chose is the Flyer. Now, the Flyer they chose is different than the one we usually pick. They chose Pidgeot as their Flyer. I prefer using Fearow, but we will make do with what we have. Pidgey can be found on the first route of the game during the day. I'm pretty sure you won't miss it. Now, I don't necessarily think Pidgeot is a terrible option to pick, I just think it could benefit from Flying Stab other than just Fly. Fly is necessary for the game, yes, but I don't like the idea of only having a 2-turn based move being the main output for flying damage. Pidgeot does have Wing Attack, but with only 60 base power, Fearow is still the better option having Drill Peck. You can argue Pidgeot can use Return, but so can Fearow, and it can hit harder. The basic flying types in general, though, don't really have anything else outside of their main stabs, so trying to find any coverage is always difficult. Both Fearow and Pidgeot lack coverage, especially in Generation 2, so building a moveset will be a tad difficult. But I think I may have something. Let's take a look real quick. Pidgeot's moveset is going to be Fly, Wing Attack, Return, and Steel Wing. Fly can be obtained from Chuck's wife outside of the Sea Wood Gym when you defeat Chuck. That will be our main way of transportation across Johto. Wing Attack can be learned at level 33, and that will be our main flying stab. Next is Return, our normal stab, and that will be our most powerful move on Pidgeot if Pidgeot has max friendship. Return is a TM given to you on Sunday at the Goldenrod department store. If you have a Pokemon that is high enough happiness, the lady will give you that TM. Lastly, we have Steel Wing, which is the only sort of real coverage Pidgeot gets. The crappy thing about this TM is it's not available until the late game in Rock Tunnel. Pidgeot can attempt to do well against Bugsy, Chuck, Will's Exeggutor, Koga's Venomoth and Ariados, Bruno's Fighting types, Karen's Vileplume, Erica's team, Janine's Bug types, Blue's Exeggutor, the Rocket Executive's Vileplume, and Red's Venusaur. Pidgeot, just like Fearow, is simply a flyer for transportation, but it can help in some aspects. I still prefer Fearow, but Pidgeot isn't completely helpless. The fourth Pokemon Soul chose is Golem. Now, Golem, funny enough, was actually on the first best team for Johto way back when, and was one of the reasons I made a Johto Remastered team to begin with. The reasoning for this is due to trade restrictions. Golem is a great mon to use. The downside is the trade restrictions. So if you have a means of trading, Golem is one of the best ground options for Generation 2 by far. Plus, Geodude can be found right on Route 46, right above New Barktown, so you can have it really early on in the game. You have it right off the bat, and it's great against the first 3 gym leaders. The stab moves it gets are also excellent. The downside is slow speed, but then again, it's a rock type. So what do you really expect?
Am I a joke to you?
Anyways, Golem is great. Let's hop into the moveset. For moves, I am going to make this a little better than what Golem has access to usually. I'm going to throw in an egg move this time. Golem's set is going to contain Earthquake, Rock Slide, Curse, and just for fun, Explosion. Now, Rock Slide is an egg move, but it's more or less simple to get. Level up Sudowoodo to level 28 to learn Rock Slide, and simply breed it with the Geodude. Leveling up won't be that hard, I think. So just be patient. Earthquake can be learned at level 41, so in the meantime, just use Magnitude. Curse can be obtained in Celadon City at the top of the Celadon Mansion. This will help with Golem's attack and defense, and speed doesn't matter because its speed is already terrible. Lastly, Golem will have Explosion. And I mean, who doesn't like exploding? Explosion is learned at level 48. With these great moves in hand, the Golem line can do great against Falconer's team, Bugsy's team, Whitney's team if you play defensively, Morty's team if you use Magnitude. Geodude is slow though, so good luck with that. Jasmine's team if you can survive Iron Tails, Price's team but that's too risky, Will's Xatu and Jinx, Koga's team aside from Fortress, Bruno's Onix, Karen's Murkrow, Gengar and Houndoom, Lance's entire team, Brock's team, just be careful of Amistar, Surge's entire team, Erica's Jump Pluff technically, Janine's team, Blaine's team, Blue's Pidgeot, Rhydon, Gyarados and Arcanine, Silver's Sneasel, Golbat, Magneton and Gengar, all the Rocket Executive's poison types, and Red's Pikachu and Charizard. Golem, hands down, is the MVP of this team, and will be providing the most power. So if you can look past the trait evolution, this is a great choice. Ground type is great anywhere, to be honest. The second to last Pokemon Sol chose was Gyarados. Also, did you guys know you can get a shiny Gyarados at the Lake of Rage? Me neither. Mind blown. If you don't want a shiny Gyarados though, then the first instance you can find a Magikarp is literally in any body of water with the Old Rod. The Old Rod can be obtained in the Pokemon Center right before Union Cave. Gyarados, in my eyes, isn't as great as what Lapras is. Lapras is by far the best water type for a Gen 2 run, but Gyarados also isn't the worst option. After all, it is Gyarados, right? Well, actually, no. Water is special in this gen, and Gyarados lacks any flying type attacks. Gyarados' move pool overall is just really shallow, but in Generation 2, no Pokemon really has a solid move pool. Let's be real. As usual though, I will try and make a moveset as best as I can for it. Gyarados' moveset is going to consist of Surf, Strength, any sort of game corner coverage move of Fire Blast, Thunder, or Blizzard, and lastly, Waterfall. I can already tell some of you guys are going to yell at me for this. But yeah, Gyarados is more or less going to be an HM slave. I love Gen 2 move pools. There really isn't much we can do with Gyarados, and having it be an HM slave that is at least offensively viable is at least not the worst thing in the world. Gyarados can still hit hard with Strength, or if you want, you can even switch out Strength and go for Return. Return is going to be Gyarados' hardest hitting attack. Pidgeot can always have Return swapped if you want Return on Gyarados. Anywho, Surf can be obtained from the Kimono Girl Dance Theater after defeating all the dancers, Waterfall can be obtained in the Ice Path, Strength can be found from a dude sitting in a restaurant in Olivine, and the TM coverage can be found in the Game Corner for 5,500 a pop. Honestly, you can pick whichever one of these you want for coverage, it doesn't really matter. The first instance Gyarados will be viable is against Morty's team, where it will be able to use Bite, followed by Jasmine's Steelix, Price's Piloswine, Claire's team aside from Kendra if you have any Ice-type attacks, Koga depending on coverage, Bruno's Onix, Karen's Houndoom, Vileplume, and Murkrow, Lance's team depending on coverage, Brock's team, Erica's team depending on coverage, Janine's Crobat, Venomoth, and Ariados depending on coverage, Blaine's team, Blue's entire team depending on coverage, Silver's Golbat, Feraligatr, and Sneasel, and Red's Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur depending on coverage. So yeah, I can imagine I must sound like a broken record saying coverage, but Gyarados with those TMs from the Game Corner can put in okay work. The downside is Gyarados is more of a physical attacker, but it is what it is, and coverage is coverage. I still definitely prefer Lapras in this case. And lastly on Sol's team, we have the legendary Pokemon Raikou. Honestly, with using Raikou on the best team for Johto no restrictions, I have to say I'm glad Sol chose this. Raikou is really dope, and it has some fun stats to work with. The downside, once again though, is the move pool, but regardless, all Raikou really needs is Stab Electric to be a shredding machine. I don't have any critiques at all because it's Raikou, so let's just dive right into the moveset. Raikou's moveset is going to be the same exact one from No Restrictions except for one change. We've got Spark, Thunder, Iron Tail, and instead of Hidden Power, we have Dig. Dig. Yeah, we've got to use Dig. Starting off with Stab, Spark is learned LL 41, and for whatever reason is the most consistent electric type move Raikou gets. Why they didn't just give it Thunderbolt still blows my mind. In Crystal, you can teach it Thunderbolt though. You'll just need some coins from the Goldenrod Game Corner and to find Bill's father outside the Game Corner on Wednesday or Saturday. The same process can also be used on Typhlosion for Flamethrower if that's what you want to do. Thunder, like I mentioned earlier for Gyarados, can be obtained from the Game Corner for 5,500 coins. Iron Tail can be earned from Jasmine after defeating her, and that provides a nice little bit of coverage. Lastly is Dig, and that can be found in the National Park. Raikou can pretty much do well against anything, considering how great it is, but here are the trainers it does really well against. Chuck's Poliwrath, Price's entire team, Brock's entire team, Misty's entire team except for Quagsire, Janine's Crobat, Blue's Pidgeot, Rhydon, and Gyarados, Silver's Sneasel, Golbat, and Feraligatr, Will's entire team except for Executor, Koga's Crobat, Bruno's Onix, Karen's Murkrow, Lance's Aerodactyl, and finally Red's Charizard and Blastoise. Great pick with Raikou, Sol. I love this thing. Well, that's it for this team. Here are my final thoughts. It's got some decent members on it, being our starter, Golem, and Raikou, but the other members just lack the move pools and offensive prowess to really dent a lot of things, especially Butterfree. At the end of the day though, that's just Gen 2's fault for having crappy move pools to begin with. Regardless, I love the diversity and thought that went into this team, especially with Butters. I always appreciate Butterfree making an appearance somewhere, regardless if it's not that great in the coverage department. So Soul, thank you so much for including Butterfree. It was fun to create a moveset for it, despite how shallow it was. Overall, I would use this team if you want a fun experience using mons that aren't really used that often. I would totally use this team, especially with Butterfree. If you're looking for straight up domination though, this team works with that aspect somewhat well. But rather than using all the members, only a few are really going to shred heavily. I just wish Butterfree was better in the move department. That's my only real issue. In Gen 2, it just lacks any great stab attacks. Well, that was my verdict. What did you guys think of Soul Blade Productions' team? Let me know down below, and also let me know what teams you guys want to have featured next. What I'd like to see from all of you range from your personal favorites all the way to teams that you think could run my best teams for their money. Go ahead, give me everything you've got. I'm looking forward to seeing what you all come up with. Anywho though, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely want to do more of these in the future so I can get you guys more involved in the channel. And by me showcasing your teams, everyone wins one way or another. Hey, welcome to my new outro. A big thank you to everyone for watching the video. I want to give a huge thanks to my phenomenal team and for the amazing art done each week by Danny the Demon. I couldn't do all this without them. If y'all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too. It really helps us out. I have a brand new TikTok for MysticSage, and I've got a goal to get 10k followers over there. If we can hit that goal, I'm going to pick a random video suggested to me by you guys and do it. So go over there and leave a follow. Also over on MysticSage, we've still got 2 videos going up every weekend. We've got content from My Hero, to Demon Slayer, to Dragon Ball. So come and check it out. And also check out MysticSage on TikTok. Finally, I've got an Amazon store where I sell tons of cool stuff. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm MysticSage, and I'll see you next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.